welcome to the Wad Fam Chalk Pod. I'm Dylan Weaver.
And I'm Andrew Sabo.
And we're here to talk about episode 325 of Adventures in Odyssey, titled Angels Unaware.
Yes.
This episode first aired July 29th of 1995. It's episode 3 off of album 25, which is Darkness Before Dawn, which we will be in for a while here. The cast is, for the most part, the same as last week. We do have a couple additions. We have Sean Svoboda as Rusty, a member of the Bones of Wrath, who we previously talked about in the Twilight Zone, because he played Russell, the chicken dealer.
Hey.
Everyone's favorite character.
Yep.
We have Lynn Luttrell, probably related to Bob, voicing Lucy's mom in this episode. It is one of the only 2 episodes she's been in. The other is episode 53, Sacred Trust. She's been in 2 that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because Lucy is such a prominent character at this point.
She's got an absentee mother. It's a part of her character.
But, it's just interesting because it's, in the more recent eras of Adventures in Odyssey, they are, all of the kids who are main kids, we also know their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But, back in this time, we only knew some parents of kids at this point.
We had, we had a couple families, we had the Washingtons and we had the Barclays.
Well, the Washingtons are later. That's what I'm saying. Is in this era we have the Barclays,
and
then all the other kids kind of operate without parents.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereas, especially in stuff like the Green Ring Conspiracy and stuff like that, with the Matthew Parker bit,
right.
I feel like when I was listening through that as an older person, I always thought, this is remarkably strange how much their parents are involved. I'm not accustomed to this level of hands-on parenting.
That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, so that's a I don't know, just a weird thing to be oh yeah, Lucy, the character who's the main female character throughout the first 5+ years of Odyssey.
Yep.
Her mom
and
shows
her
up
mom
twice.
is there twice.
Yep. We also then, in real small bits, we've got Phil Lawler playing Ralph Foreman, who's getting interviewed on a TV show.
Lesser-known brother of George Foreman.
It's just the guy works for maintenance for the city, and his last name is Foreman.
Yep.
And then
Forest Mountain.
Yep.
And Trickle Lake.
And then we also have Alma Stump, who we do not have a voice actress for, but she is she's the lady who they fix up her backyard. They fix the fence in her backyard, and I don't know. She's got a lot of foliage back there, and her last name's Stump. I guess that counts.
Yeah, you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm fine. I'm fine with stretching that bit to cover Alma Stump as well.
Alma Stump.
Well, you ready to roll the promo?
Somewhere hidden in the dark recesses of Odyssey lurk angels? Coming up on Adventures in Odyssey, the bizarre outbreak of vandalism around town is being mysteriously countered by an unknown cleanup crew. Who's behind these random acts of kindness? And will it be enough to clean up the city? Learn more on the next Adventure in Odyssey.
We have not had that good a promo in, I don't know, since the Rats one.
Yeah, that was a lot. What music? And the thing is, the actual speaking part was pretty normal, but the music I mean, wow, that sounded like, the intro to like Luigi's Mansion or something.
The speaking part wasn't that normal though. The dude says, "Angels?"
That's a fair point. He does say
Angels?
that. Angels? Unaware? Little pools?
Small fires.
There it is. Yeah, so this episode begins with Rusty and Rodney planning to commit acts of severe vandalism to the baseball fields outside of Odyssey Middle School.
Yeah.
We this big bit with Rusty and is Rusty and who's the other Bones of Wrath who doesn't like Rusty? What's his name?
No, that's Rusty. You're thinking of Butch.
Oh, yes.
They've got such useful names, like Rusty and Bush.
And
Bush?
Butch. We're calling him Bush now.
No, I'm not calling him Bush. Do you wanna reenact their little back and forth?
Go for it.
I'll play Rusty. You play Brian Butch Evans.
Yes, sir.
What'd you do? Break a fingernail?
Har har. Hey, look, Rodney, a monkey who talks.
Oh, you're a real funny guy, ain't ya?
Not as funny as your face. Boom. Roasted.
Got him.
Har har. Look, a monkey who talks.
I like the tension here.
Oh no, I'm enjoying it too.
It feels very like mob movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very much, very mob-esque. Like, just let me kill him, Rodney. Just let me kill him. Okay.
Yeah, but so the thing I'd like to point out, which was actually pointed out to us by a friend of the show, Lee, of the AIO Wiki. He pointed out that weirdly on the broadcast version, last episode ends with Sam getting grabbed, but we don't actually hear Jack say anything. And then this episode opens on that same scene of him getting grabbed, and this time we hear Jack and Billy.
Interesting.
Which, yeah.
But so they switched it back for the album version? Why would they do that?
Yeah, they just like, the last episode ends on that full beat rather than it ending on part of the beat and then this one finishing it.
Yeah.
So like this episode just opens on the album, just opens straight on Rodney and Rusty waiting for Butch. But if you're listening to it on the air, it opens with like an extended version of the scene that you had heard in the previous episode. At least that's
Does this episode have a parental warning on it?
It does on the broadcast version.
Okay.
Once again, according to the wiki.
Gets extremely intense and in places and is not recommended for younger listeners.
Yep. Just like our show.
Yeah. And life.
Life. It gets extremely intense in places and isn't recommended for younger listeners.
Yep.
I mean,
not
fair.
A sponsor.
So yeah. Anyways, back to Rodney and Rusty and Butch plotting about their scheming here.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to burn the baseball field at Odyssey Middle School.
Yeah. And Rodney does the whole, like, it needs some redecorating. And, like, I was like, oh, what are they going to do? They're going to, I don't know, mess it up, maybe do some spray paint. No, they're going to burn. They're going to commit an act of mass arson. And then Rusty's like, let's just destroy the property, too. Like, let's just take out the backstop. Let's do it all.
Yeah. It was one of those things where I was like, oh, they're going to, like, spray paint the field, or they're going to, like, pour something on it to kill the grass in like a design that's like a bone. I don't know what they do. And then no, the whole thing is gonna go up in flames.
Yep, they're going to burn. I mean, even if they burn like the bones of wrath or something into it, even if they were to do that, they are going to take, gasoline or kerosene.
Kerosene.
Yeah, and
as many matchbooks as they can find.
Which, realistically, do you need that many matches? You just need a lot of kerosene, right?
That's what I thought as well. I was like, if you do it right, Rodney, you need one match.
Yeah.
And then you get far away from there. That's the other thing. Is this, and they don't go through with it, but this is suggesting, like, children, play with fire.
Yep.
I know it's being portrayed as a bad thing, but also, like, of all the things,
if you had ever considered about playing with fire, this is exactly how you commit arson.
Oh, shoot. Is this specifically in reference to Jack's dream?
Oh.
Because last episode was all about the small fires.
And the little pools.
Yep. And they went fishing at Trickle Lake, which is kind of a pool.
Oh, yeah. It's certainly not, like... In my head, Trickle Lake isn't a particularly large lake. Like, I'm imagining like a Speedwell Forge type situation.
No, it's... I've always pictured it as fairly large. It's a lake, not a pond.
Okay, I concede.
Look at that. That's how you get things done, folks.
Yep.
You just apply a little bit of pressure and the cards tumble. I don't know. I lost the other half of that analogy.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what? As somebody who has caved to your logic, I will cave to it again and say that bit was strong.
Oof. So yeah.
Sir, there's gonna be a hot time in the old schoolyard tonight.
That's not a half bad Rodney.
I practiced.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Last night.
That's so much effort. I'm so
at
proud
like
of you.
12:15. No one else was awake, and I was just writing down quotes and practicing them. Oh, what is my life?
Man. This is amazing.
This is what happens.
Finals week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. These are my last 2 remaining brain cells. This is what they're doing.
Adventures in Odyssey podcast. The best use of time.
Oh, yes. 100%.
So then, yeah. Oh, Sam. So Butch leaves this meeting, and Sam, like, jumps out and grabs him.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, Butch is like, how did you find me? And he's like, well, you tried to get me to join the Bones of Wrath, so, like, I know where their hideout is. And he's like, something has happened. We need to talk.
Yeah.
And that's where that scene ends.
We need to talk.
Like, it's real brief.
Oh, yeah.
And they're very much... This is an episode told from the perspective of, basically, of Lucy and Connie.
Mm-hmm.
It is very much like we as the audience know a little bit more than them, but not really. We've got some information we can use to piece it together, but we don't really get anything from Sam's perspective or from Jack's perspective in this episode.
No, not really.
Like it's very much from the outside looking in, which I like a lot.
Oh, another thing worth noting. Last night when I was preparing for this, I accidentally almost prepared the entirety of a different episode.
Oh, my word.
Yeah. And then I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is not where we left off last time. Let me check. And then I realized it was wrong.
You jumped too far ahead?
Moving Targets, which was the one that I listened
gosh.
to like 8 minutes of.
That's in quite a bit.
Yes, it is.
Well, whatever. How did you manage that?
I don't know, because I clicked Angels Unaware. It was actually just the OA Club being weird.
Ah, classic OA Club. It lists this episode as being 44 minutes.
Does it really?
At least on the Android app. but then it doesn't last that long, obviously.
Nope.
The last episode was 53 minutes listed on there. I don't know what they're doing, but anyways, so Lucy then gets a call, and a muffled voice says that the bike is in her driveway. And she goes outside, and sure enough, there's her bike.
Yep.
It's back. She got her bike back, guys.
The same day.
Wild. And then
They make a lot of emphasis about the bikes being back the same day.
yeah. Well, yeah, because this episode is literally continuing where the previous one was. It is all one day.
Well, yeah, but like you would think that like if you were gonna get your bike back, if somebody was gonna get cold feet and want to return it, like it becomes less and less likely the farther removed from it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably right. I didn't really think about it that way.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
And then what
We get Lucy. So yeah, so the
Oh,
bikes are
Sam
back, and then
bikes
Sam
by.
shows over. Yeah,
yeah.
and Sam is such a like. They're so bad at lying, and like I get it. It's an audio medium. You can't see visual discomfort, so it's all got to come through in their voice. But like,
and also he's a quote unquote good kid.
yeah, I get that. But also like, he's so incredibly bad at this.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I also just realized that with Sam, Lucy, and Rusty in this episode, we have a very good Twilight Zone reenactment.
Oh yes. Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah.
So why don't you like the Twilight Zone?
Tweet
This
us.
is for the Chalk Squad. I mean, obviously Dylan likes it, and I'm growing on it. The dealing of chickens
Andrew,
really sealed it
chicken
for
is
me.
a metaphor for drugs.
Chicken drugs.
So yeah, Lucy's like, I wonder how like they knew to return our bikes here, and Sam's like, don't worry about it. Don't question a good deed.
Yep.
And Lucy's like,
You realize that you could have just been like, I don't know, and then it probably would have
Right.
been nothing.
Yeah. Well, and then Lucy's like, hey, where'd you go after Wit's End? And Sam's like, home. And Lucy's like, well, I went to your home and you weren't there. Oh yeah, I was in the woods too. And Lucy's like, "Brah."
Yeah.
And that's where the scene ends.
You'd think that if he was gonna like lie, he would put a little bit of effort into like,
No.
coming up with an alibi.
No.
No. Do you have a bucket on your head?
No.
No. Do you have a bike in your driveway? Yes.
No. Yeah, apparently this episode is just referencing our old episodes.
Of course,
You
naturally.
know, how the mighty have fallen.
With
We're not
us
mighty.
two hosting a podcast. Come on now.
Yeah.
With the frizz? No way.
Yeah. Oh, just listen to the sweet sound of Andrew's dog barking.
Oh god. If the Chalk Squad can hear this is every day for me. She's the cutest dog in the world. She has a bark straight from the pits of Hades, and it makes me want to hurt myself.
Oh, yay. And so, then we go to the Bones of Wrath staking out the baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
They're hiding in the shadows, and Rusty's like, all right, we just got to do this thing. And Rodney's like, wait, Butch isn't here yet. And Rodney's like, Rusty's like, screw it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to. It's weird. Rusty, I think, is the name you get if you combine Butch and Rodney.
Yeah. And also, like, what is his actual name? Because I cannot imagine, like, a mother staring lovingly into the eyes of a newborn baby and being like, Rusty. That's what I'll call him.
I think it's Rusty. Rusty's a name.
What?
What do you mean?
Who?
What?
What? People go
You've
by Rusty.
never
What
met
is
someone
Rusty
named
short
Rusty?
for? Rustathan?
No, I think it's just... You want to Google what is Rusty short for, Andrew?
Yeah, 100%.
But, no, like, I know people named Rusty. It's not, like, not currently, but, like... there was a point at which that was a thing.
Oh, it's short for Russell.
Oh, weird. Which was his name in the Twilight Zone.
There you go. Answers. We have
with
them.
Simon and Lucille. I don't know what Lucy's name was in that. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're covering today.
Believe it or not, despite multiple references.
Yeah, who'd have thought? So then Butch does finally show up.
Yep.
And is like, it took me a while to get here because, like, look over there, there's a police car hanging out. And Rodney's like, oh no. And Rusty's like, yeah. And Butch is like, yeah, there was, we were gonna, nope, I lost that sentence.
They said that they were going to up the police patrols. They must have got lucky.
Yeah.
Basically, like, we better scrap it for tonight. We gotta be safe. Yep. And then Rodney's like, yeah. And Butch actually does a decent job covering it. Like, he's like,
yes.
That's why it took me a while to get there.
Because Butch isn't a good person, he can lie way better than Sam.
Yep. I love just categorizing people in absolutes like that. It's so much easier than, like, imagining people complexly.
Yeah. And then, so we go to commercial break after that, and when we come back, we've got Brock Peterson with Channel 10 News.
Brock Peterson with Channel 10 News.
This is
such a good bit.
I really like this. So we get a really long news report with multiple interviews with Brock, and then we get characters from the show interjecting into it, and it's great.
Yep.
So he starts off interviewing, he starts off kind of with this thing of like, there's been a lot of, gang activity around Odyssey, but suddenly things seem to have taken a turn.
Yep.
We're joined now by Alma Stump, and Alma's like, I woke up one morning, and there was a call on my phone, and I looked outside, and my fence was fixed.
Yep.
And
she spends a really long time setting up the fact that she has a big property, and she has gardens, and she has a fence, and animals eat her garden, and
well, and it's like the way the news report is being worded, you don't know if it's going to be something bad or something good.
Yeah.
And she talks about her arthritis, and all this stuff, and then we pan out from that news report. Like, and honestly, I think this is a scene that would work really, really well visually, because in my
100%.
mind, visually, I picture, like, we are, like, just on the TV, and then we pan out, and Lucy's like, that's the same way I heard about my bike. Some mysterious voice called me. I should go find out how Sam got his bike back. And then we zoom back into the TV, and it continues about this. This is where
the bushes and the trees
character
got trimmed by mysterious forces.
Yeah,
and
this is Ralph Foreman being interviewed.
The foreman.
Right. And he talks about how, like, all these bushes and trees at an intersection that were overgrown were trimmed, and how, like, they had been a nuisance. And Brock Peterson's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, yeah, we just didn't have the funding to do it.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine walking around every day and having your name be Miss Stump?
You could be Mr. Foreman.
Yeah, it's not great. Like, these names fall apart under even the smallest amount of light.
Yeah, but also it's probably someone's name.
100%.
And so, and then we.
At least they're easy to pronounce, unlike a Sabo.
Yeah, that's fair. Ispo?
Aspo? Acabebo?
Acabebo.
I've heard that one.
I know. And then so then it's then this Ralph being interviewed is like or Brock's like, Ralph, what do you think, who do you think did this and whatnot? And he's like, I think it was just a random act of goodness. And suddenly Connie's memory is triggered, and so we pan out from the TV, and like I'm just picturing this as this one beautiful, like, unbroken shot.
Yeah, it's a continuous shot situation. Connie's like, it goes in and out from the TV, or
Yep.
even if it's like a radio, even if it's like
Well, but this is genuinely on the TV.
yeah.
And we come out, or actually maybe it is on the radio. I don't know. I think last episode, we heard that Brock Peterson was a TV guy, but I don't know that for sure.
He could do both. Simulcast situation.
Yeah, maybe. But he, So it comes out on Connie, and she's like, that's that was random acts of goodness is like that thing that is something Jack said, and so she yells for Jack, to go talk to him, and then in the background of that scene on the TV, Ralph shouts out his mom.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Where he's like
"Hi,
very
Mom,
excited.
I'm on TV."
Yep. And then so like Connie exits the scene, and then we go back into the TV, and it's Tom
Talking about the anonymous tip-off for Odyssey Middle School, and then they're like, because the weird thing is he's like speaking on behalf of the police department, which I thought was weird, and two, he's basically just like being like, well, we think that there was a hit planned, and we think that by us doing this, it didn't happen,
right?
And I suppose that could be the case for any anonymous tip-off that doesn't happen,
right? Yep.
But and then we get Brock Peterson going full John Krasinski, like Some Good News bit, where he's like, times are tough, and it's nice to be able to report some good news for a change.
I'm Brock Peterson, Channel 10 News, and then
that's a good impression. You do a very good Brock Peterson.
I mean, it's basically the same as my Link Wainwright. And then it comes out, and this time it's a scene with Bart and Rodney.
Yep.
So
Bart's being pressured by higher up.
Yes, pressure from higher up. It is Bart is like mad. Rodney's there as well, and I think it's interesting that Rodney doesn't acknowledge the fact that Tom just said on the news that there was an anonymous tip.
Yeah,
because that should be freaking Rodney out. Where he's like, wait,
I was thinking that Bart was about to body him and be like, "Yo, you've got a mole."
Right, but no. And who knows? Maybe it'll come up later. But at this point, Rodney is not thinking about that, and I guess that's maybe his character. Bart talks about he is so mad about all this, and he's like, we're
gonna get replaced.
Our plans are falling apart. We're gonna get replaced. I should never have gotten mixed up in all this when I signed that contract for the Electric Palace, referencing back to that episode.
Yep.
And just he's secretly being funded by some person, and that seems to be conditional on the fact that he causes trouble or whatnot. And I think
this is Rodney in his bag right now. I mean, this guy is a smooth operator when it comes to this sort of thing. Like, boom, he gets hit with a left jab, and he's like, "That's all right. You know what? We're gonna keep working. We got this other idea. I got a big hit planned tonight. Like, no second thoughts. Let's get the gang together. Let's mess some stuff up."
Right, and Bart's so uncomfortable with everything they're doing, but at the same time, he's like, Rodney, you got to do this. And I think it's a really fun opposite of the Erica Colburn situation, where Bart's getting pressured from on high and is roping his child into it as a result. And the whole thing with the Colburns is that Eric will not rope. Not Eric. I don't know what the dad's name is. Mr. Colburn will not. Stephen? No, that's Stephen Colbert. I don't know. Mr. Colburn will not
Stephen
rope.
Colbert.
Will not rope Erica into his thing, and then she jumps in behind his back. But we've got the opposite, where it's just Bart's like, all right, I'm being told from on high that I got to do that. That means that you, Rodney, have got to do it.
Yep. Well, I mean, Rodney possesses a great talent for mischief.
Yeah.
What can we say?
He is.
Game recognizes game.
Yeah.
And then we get, we get this. I mean, the whole scene is kind of frustrating because it's very expositional. It's very much like Bart being like, "Oh yeah, well then what will happen? And then this will happen, and then this will happen. So this is what you need to do." And then we get Rodney making the line, "I'm gonna send the town reeling," which I really hope they're setting up vandalism to a movie theater, but I don't think that they are, which is upsetting.
Maybe it's vandalism to a fishing dock.
Oh. Why would they go after a dock?
I don't know, but it would also be reeling.
Yeah, that is the only
I
other
was
use
just
for
making the
reeling.
same joke as you. Whatever.
No, you're right. Like I said, you pressure me a little bit. I'll cave. I'm a fragile person.
I don't want this to be our dynamic. Someone needs to push back against me.
I can push back. I'll cave under that pressure. I'll push back.
I hate you. And so yeah. It's such an interesting scene.
My note for this scene is the "don't call me Pop" bit makes me want to commit Harry Carey.
I mean, I kind of loved it in this.
Well, because it's him saying "don't call me" and then Rodney's on the phone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
I'm
here,
on
you
the
want
phone,
you want to do
Pop.
this again? You gonna be Rodney or Bart?
I'll be Rodney.
Okay. Start us off then.
Thanks, Pop. You won't regret it.
I already do regret it. I still don't like any of this, and don't call me.
Hey, I'm on the phone, Pop.
I do
There
not
it
have a
is.
Bart at all. But it's fine.
Yeah, I can't do it.
But anyways, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a
fun.
good. It is a good bit, but the
Yeah.
fact that it keeps showing up
Yeah,
is painful.
yeah. No, I'm with you. I go in and out of liking it. It just depends on how it's being used and what mood I'm in. If I'm
So
feeling
then we get Jack and Connie,
nostalgic
right?
versus nostalgic versus critical. Yeah. You wanna take that?
So basically, Connie's confronting Jack, and then Jack's like, "Oh, nothing's happening. If there was something serious happening, I'd tell you if it was appropriate," which is such a frustrating way to dodge that, but whatever.
Yeah, it feels very John Avery Whittaker.
Yeah, basically like, don't concern yourself, you of weaker mind.
Not like this. Not like early wit. Like Novacom wit.
No, like Novacom wit. Not the wit that we like.
Yeah.
Have we established who our favorite wit voice actor is?
I think I like Paul Herlinger better as a voice actor, but Hal Smith era wit is better.
Yeah, I think that's a take that I can get behind. Honestly, I know that this is probably a poll that's been done many times, but we should definitely do a poll about everybody's favorite wit.
I mean, we could.
Among the Chalk Squad, at least.
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
My favorite wit is Jason.
The Jason Jack combo, please.
Yeah. But I'll throw a poll in the show notes here. Why not?
Why the heck not?
If you listen to this and feel like voting, the link will be down there, and you can decide who you would vote for in a wit off between
A battle of the wits?
Oh, dang it, Andrew! That is such a better joke.
It's okay. That's the point is that my joke looks better by comparison.
I'm really that was solid.
Thank you.
And so so Jack is being real dodgy about
And cryptic
this whole thing.
and
I don't know why.
Nope, me neither.
Like, I don't know why this is something that he feels the need to hide from Connie.
Especially because she's already aware of the old Israelites,
She's aware of the old Israelites. She's also like
she's
an
functioning
employee.
more as an adult.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. She's not well, and then she does function quite a bit as a child in a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah. It's just I don't know. It's weird that he's hiding this, but it's also weird that Jason's still not back.
Yeah.
So then
This is when we get Sam and Lucy, right?
yeah, and they are Lucy comes over to talk to Sam, as we had set up previously, and Sam's mowing the grass. And she's
Presumably,
like, hey,
shirtless.
why?
I don't know. I always mow shirtless.
All right, Andrew. And then, and Lucy's like, hey, how did you, like, hear about your bike? You know, I was listening to the news, and a voice said it, you know, they were talking about someone else who had a voice call them, and that's the same way I found my bike. And Sam's like, oh, yeah, well, like, a voice called me, but it told me to go out to a cave in the woods, and that's where my bike was. And Lucy's like,
why does he sound so uncomfortable about lying when he's, like, telling the truth? Like, that is what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's real nervous in this, and Lucy's like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Like, she's got her, like, reporter hat on.
Yeah, she's got the little scrappy chip on her shoulder youngster thing going.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm gonna investigate this. I work part-time at the Odyssey Times. Like, I'm gonna make this happen. And Sam's like, I'm sketchy and nervous, and you should definitely investigate me.
Yeah. Well, and Sam pulls the power move that I am never, like, capable of doing, which is just somebody asking you a question and you just not responding.
That's true. Andrew cannot do that. You ask him a question, he will respond.
Honestly, and too fast. And that's how I get in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, Dylan, what's your greatest fear?
Yeah,
we can talk about this off mic.
I think it's probably heights. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine's dying alone.
Yeah, frick. The problem with saying heights is everyone else then throws out something really legitimate, and I'm like, well, I should maybe rethink my life. But man, no thanks.
Not heights, or not rethinking
heights.
Your life?
Oh no, I'm down to rethink my life sometime. But
that's. I mean, it's quarantine. This is the best time for it.
Introspection. That's what it's here for. So.
Why can't you just let good things happen? And then she gets upset because it's the second time he said that. Right. And the truth of the matter is, one, Sam has a point. Like, if Sam was better at lying, I think that it would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, the truth of the matter is a good thing happened. And if he wasn't actively pushing back, like, even if it was just him being like, you know, I really don't see a problem with this, she might be like, well, maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, then there is what is one of the most Odyssey scenes ever.
Yeah.
Which is Connie is monologuing about her frustrations with Jack. Lucy at the counter at Wit's End. Lucy walks into Wit's End monologuing about her frustrations with Sam.
Are we going to do it at the same time?
Overlap, and then simultaneously they're like,
whatever happened to trust? Wait a minute.
Who are you talking about?
The police? That's who you are.
I wish I could remember what the scene... Oh, it's... Connie has a scene like this with Bernard.
Yeah.
In Novacom, where she's ranting about Mitch.
Yep.
To Bernard, and he's like... Yeah, has like... no idea what's going on. Like, it's not quite the same scene, but it has a similar vibe, and it's a very Odyssey trope. What we're learning
is that Connie has some deep-seated trust issues, most likely tracked to the absentee role that her father has played in her life.
Wow.
That's just my quick, I just connected those dots right now. Makes a lot of sense.
Also, Jack is being incredibly cagey, and I don't know why he doesn't trust her. So there's that, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nobody is blameless in this strange circumstance.
Yeah, so they talk through their gripes and decide that, like, oh, yeah, Sam and Jack are definitely in on this together. But there's also this thing where, like, Connie is really locked in on this whole, like, the guy on the television said random acts of goodness, and that's the same phrase Jack used, so they must be connected. And I'm like, but
That logic is incredibly fallible.
well, because it like,
He has no connection to it. It's not even
Correct.
like Brock
It's not
Peterson
like-
is a part of the Israelites.
right, well, and it was something that Ralph said, but it's not as though, it's not as though he was told by Jack to say that. He just accidentally said the same thing.
So Jack wasn't even lying.
Yeah. No, it is genuinely a coincidence. Although Jack Allen doesn't believe in coincidences.
So then basically they plan a stakeout, Connie and Lucy.
Yeah,
They
she's
go
like, we can't
full-
follow Jack because
They
he'll
get
be
their
onto
stage
us.
blacks, and then they follow they stake out Sam's house, right?
Right, because Jack would be onto them.
Yeah. And then so we go to the stakeout, and Connie and Lucy, Lucy's having like some second thoughts about it, and they're kind of antsy, and then they see somebody, and then he disappears, and then they get caught
Yeah,
by Sam and presumably Billy McPherson.
it is Billy McPherson.
But they don't reveal.
They
it.
don't
It's just
reveal
his
that.
name.
We still don't know that.
It's just you can recognize his voice as like not
Yes.
being a child.
Yes. And yeah, it's a really fun scene, I think, to see Connie kind of get pulled into these childhood antics because it also feels pretty relatable.
Oh, 100%.
Where I'm like, oh yeah, like occasionally I catch myself getting pulled into things, then I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Oh,
Especially with like younger cousins.
Oh,
where,
yeah.
like where
Oh,
yeah, it'll be something goofy and I'll get roped into it, and then I'm like, I probably this is probably not the way I'm like meant to be acting in this moment, but like whatever, I'll just go along with the ride.
I never
Along
really
for the
had
Ride,
that with cousins.
album
I had that
43.
that was a good album. I had that I have that with my life group kids. I always had that where I was like, I really should be the responsible adult here, but nope.
Yeah, fair enough. And so yeah, the Sam's going into the woods, and then Lucy and Connie follow him, and then Billy catches them and yells stop, and then tells Lucy and Connie that they're going to need to come with him.
Yep.
And that's where we end.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's a good jingle.
Thank you. I've been practicing. It was at like 12:15 last night. Everyone else in my house was asleep, and I was just saying that over and over to myself.
I like, if this becomes a bit, I'm okay with it. Okay, I just need to put my official stamp of approval on this. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we talked. I mean, the cutting in and out through the television and everything, super good.
Yeah.
I think a bird just flew into my window.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting.
It is. Yeah. It's another one that has.
Finches be tripping. Sorry. Continue.
It's another episode that just has really good. Like, it's well directed. The sound design's good. Like, it's plotted at a good pace. Like, it's doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it
But I like how they're
flies
not
by.
afraid to, like, what the longer arcs do is it makes them not have to wrap everything up. And so one
Right.
episode can build into the next. And, like,
Yep.
there doesn't need to be any real sense of there's a bow on this episode, this part of this adventure is done.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. But as a bonus, because these aren't technically part 1 and 2 episodes, they do all get their own questions.
Oh, they do? I haven't looked at the questions for this episode.
Yeah.
Are they any good?
I think so.
Can you scroll down on the screen share so I can see them?
Yeah, I can just read them to you too.
Oh, that works too.
So, should Sam have told Lucy how he got their bikes back.
Well, okay. I mean, he kind of did.
Right.
He told him how he got his bike back. It was a half-truth.
Yeah. So here's where I think this question gets interesting.
Yeah.
The second part of it is, should Lucy have questioned him about it?
Well, I don't think that Lucy, like I said, I don't think that Lucy would have needed to if Sam wasn't such a bad liar.
Right. But you're admitting that Sam was a liar, and we shouldn't be liars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, I guess the question, I mean, you know, there's literally an entire episode about this, but doing the wrong thing for the right reason.
Right.
You know, I mean, and the right reason is presumably just being like, I want to keep you safe, and I don't want to involve you in this because it's not...
Right, it's the superhero maneuver.
Yeah. You know, as somebody who's overly open and honest, I would be more inclined to try and rope my close friends in than otherwise. But I definitely respect his desire to not do that. So
I think maybe part of it is just we don't really understand why he's being cagey at this point.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to be like, should Lucy have questioned him? Because, like, I don't think she was doing anything wrong by interrogating him about it.
Well, especially because he seems so suspicious.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. Like, would have the right thing of her to do to be to just, like, blindly trust him?
And then just go on her own way? No, I don't think so.
I kind of think, she was in the clear for being like, look, like, I want to know what's going on.
And you're not going to tell me, so I'm going to figure it out.
Right. And I don't know if this is trying to be like a curiosity killed the cat kind of question, or...
I don't think so. I think it's more so that they should have been more honest and, like...
Yeah.
They obviously don't pay being dishonest, or not even being dishonest, but not being anything other than entirely truthful in a good light this episode.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm inclined to say that, you know, if it were me, I probably would have brought Lucy into it. But I also understand the fact that if he is in the Israelites, and the Israelites are super exclusive and super, you know, underground, like, you're not really at liberty to discuss that. But if that's the case, you got to be better at your job.
Yeah. I mean, there is that. Here's a question that you definitely won't have the answer to. Why do you think the mysterious higher up person wanted to cause chaos in Odyssey?
Oh, to seize power, of course.
Yes. And
That's how it
also
always
for
goes.
revenge?
The Sith?
And should Connie and Lucy have followed Sam?
Well, if you've got to paint it in objectively right or wrong sense, it's probably objectively wrong, only in the sense that, you know, they were being mistrusting of some people who, you know, weren't necessarily deserving of trust, although
Right.
You know, Jack does deserve trust, and so does Sam, because they're friends, and so you gotta assume that them not telling you something has some sense of purpose behind it, you know.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
they didn't do anything illegal by just sitting
Right.
outside of his house, so it's not like they were breaking the law.
Yeah, Connie does have that moment of like, if we're not doing anything wrong, why are we hiding every time a car goes past?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing that I'm thinking about and I'm interested. So Connie, a lot of times in the show, gets painted as being nosy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's part of me, kind of because of the phrasing of that question, but just in general, I'm like, it is weird and a little frustrating that we have these two female characters being left in the dark.
Yeah.
And then and who knows how things go next episode as far as like what the fallout from this is. But it definitely seems like there's some
intentionality that specifically they shouldn't be involved in. Which
right.
Connie not being involved in makes so much less sense because she is
Yeah.
like an adult, and if Jack is doing something, she should be involved, if only to cover for him in like, wits end duties.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious to see what the fallout from this interaction is, if they're like taken to the place and like scolded, or if it's like, great, you passed our initiation, like, welcome.
Yeah. I'm presuming it's going to be scolding, and then clearly we got some investigative reporters here, this could be useful for the order.
But yeah, we will definitely talk about whatever the fallout of this is next week, because I'm curious if I'm going to be mad about it or not.
I hope not. I
me too.
hope not.
I do too.
Do you have any other closing thoughts, Dylan?
I really don't. I liked it. I like where it's building. Bring on the Blackgaard.
Yes, sir. I'm very excited for that. Do you have anything to promote?
I'm trying to think. I don't. No. Nope.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there. I have plugged my Instagram before on here. It's just at Andrew Sabo. But I did it once, and I probably will do it again. I don't know with any sense of regularity. But I've been going live at like around midnight. I did it one time.
EST.
And Eastern Standard Time. Reading. So last time I read some Shel Silverstein poems, and then I read the first like couple pages of The Great Gatsby, just because, I don't know, I think it's nice to listen to people read stuff while you fall asleep, and I know right now a lot of people's sleep schedules are out of whack, and myself included, and it gives me an excuse to read, and it also gives me an excuse to interact with my friends. So if the Chalk Squad is so inclined, just give me a good old follow on Instagram, and you'll get notified if I go live.
Yeah, do it, guys.
You can listen to this sweet timbre of my voice read to you poems by Shel Silverstein, such as "Little Sister for Sale."
There you go. What more could you ask for in this time of chaos?
Exactly.
All right. That's all we've got this week, folks. And we will be back next week covering episode 326, Gathering Thunder. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
WadFam Chalk Pod is a presentation of the Lidditz Podcast Co-op. This show is a fan podcast and has no official affiliation with Adventures in Odyssey or Focus on the Family. As such, the copyright is ours under Creative Commons. Follow the podcast at WadFamChalkPod on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at wadfamchalkpod@gmail.com. Angels Unaware was hosted by Dylan Weaver and Andrew Sabo, and edited by Dylan Weaver. And I'm Nathan Haverstick, hoping you'll join us again next time for more of the WadFam Chalk Pod.